All right, so I want to share two things that happened. One thing that happened this morning, and one thing that has happened this week as I just on Monday flew from Berlin to Wisconsin to land in my parents' home, which I will be here visiting for the next 3 weeks or so. And I mean, we all know that tagline, if you think you're enlightened, spend a week with your parents. Yeah, we all know that one. So I'm gonna start with a fun thing around this. Uh, as I was getting ready for a client call this morning, I hear from the bathroom, because the bathroom is connected, or it's right next door to the room I'm staying in here. I hear from the bathroom, "Ooh, ooh, ooh," and I'm just like, okay, what is that? And I I walk over to the bathroom door and I do a little knock and I'm just like, "Hey, how's it going in there?" And it's my dad, and what he says is, "Oh, yeah, I'm just practicing. I'm just practicing my vampire." Yeah. So that's my father. He is the one who he provided the DNA to create this. So so that's what that's about. Um, so that was a fun thing, and then actually another fun, joyous thing that I'm also discovering, learning, excited about is in the past, in spending time with my parents and being in this sort of uh, in this culture that I do not, that I do not relate to anymore. Like I come from a different culture, and the culture that my parents brought me up in is different. It's a different thing. So there's naturally conflicts that happen, and in different times of my life, I've had to take a lot of distance and space from them, literally just moving across the country or just, you know, setting energetic or physical boundaries with them in order to maintain my sense of well-being. What I'm noticing in being here now is that whenever I feel drained or any sort of resistance or contraction in my system, usually it has to do with this sort of loss of energy. It's always a result of my failure to take responsibility for my boundaries in relationship to them. It's always that. It's always something to do with me not speaking up, me not standing for myself, me not setting a clear distinction of this is me and this is you. You do not belong here. You are in a place where you don't belong. Go, go, step back, step back. And the capacity in me to do that from a place of love, from a place of clarity, from a place of, hey, this isn't good, bad, right, or wrong. This is just what I need because this is what I prefer and how I prefer to be in reality and relationship to you. And so I feel joy to know that this actually is working. This is working. This is really working. And when it's coming from a place of clarity in my being, and when it's coming from a place of genuine love, I love you. I'm setting this boundary because I love you and because I want to be closer to you and I want to experience life with you. And that's just not going to work if you are crossing something. And it's certainly not going to work if I let you cross this boundary. So my invitation for you is to, if you are spending time with your parents or you have spent time with your parents, or maybe you're in a situation where it's like I can't even be around my parents at all, and I completely respect and acknowledge that place. My question for you is, what boundaries need to be do what boundaries do you need to take responsibility for in your life in relationship to your parents? What boundaries have you not been taking responsibility for? And I also invite you to look at and consider the ways that maybe, and because I'm going to speak from what I have been doing. I have been showing up as a victim, like, oh, you're doing this. Yeah, either the perpetrator blaming them or just being like, oh, poor me. I have these parents that I can't relate to. Oh, So that the victim or the perpetrator blaming them. What ways have you been playing the victim? What ways have you been playing the perpetrator, blaming them for something that actually you can take responsibility for? And actually, when you do take responsibility for that, the whole game changes. And in that place, you can be a culture creator. You can start to enact your culture into the sphere of your family. And that's where it becomes about less about you being the child to the parent, and now it becomes you being adult in relationship to other adults. And I think the last thing I'll say with this is that one thing I did in coming here is I informed my parents and said, hey, I'm always going to be your son. That's never going to change. I'm always going to be your son. You birthed me into this world, and I'm an adult. And so I'm going to treat you as an adult. And I also expect you to treat me that way too. However, I don't need you to do that. I'm responsible for me. And so as long as I'm upholding my boundaries and responding to you as an adult, it doesn't really matter how you respond to me. I don't need to give you that power because I have this power in me. So I will stand for me. And I just want you to know that this is how it's going to be. Yeah, feels pretty good.